Events are weaving together quickly. The fate of the world shall be decided soon.
From electronic
so those
farts.
things will come out of the fade.
Two ancient elven gods. They were horrific tyrants. The worst is still coming. Unless we stop them.
Artifacts that have been dormant for centuries are awakening.
This is... Okay, I gotta say something about these plots that make no fucking sense, okay? There's a game in a series, and in the game, here's the plot, here's the big bad, here's everything that's so hyper important. And so through an epic 40, 50, 60-hour journey, you overcome all the odds, you beat the big bad, game over. All right? Then the next game comes out, right? And the next game is, oh, by the way, there was this other threat that was always there behind the scenes that we never even fucking mentioned whatsoever in any of the previous games of the series, and that was the overreaching threat, worse than what you faced in the last one, even though we told you in the last one that was the end-all be-all. And this now is the priority. It's like, wait, what? So, for example, we played 3 Dragon Age games, correct? In any of those 3 games, did they ever mention that there were big, bad, elven gods in the Veil that at any moment could open up and invade the planet? Did they ever mention that? Do you remember that? Like, I remember in the Dragon Age games, sometimes you're going into the Veil and out of the Veil, and there's stuff involved. Do you ever remember that they, oh yeah, 2 giant gods could destroy? No. They just made it up out of nowhere. They're like, oh, now this is the big thing. That's what gets me. Like, for example, with a game that they just did this recently that it was a pet peeve of mine was Zelda. So you had Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Oh my God. Ganondorf's evil corruption is going over the land and taking everything over, and you got to stop it, right? So you fight these giant fights on these giant moving creatures that are actually dungeons, and you have to summon the power of the 4 legendary heroes to defeat Ganon, and you beat him. And then the next game comes out, Tears of the Kingdom. None of that mattered. That was nothing. That you were fucking around. Because now the real big bad, the real Ganon is here, and now you got to fight him, and it's completely different. Like, wait, what? If the real Ganon was there, why didn't you just go fucking fight him to begin with? Why did we waste time? Right? It was a whole game that was wasted then, right? Let's retcon that whole game and pretend like Tears of the Kingdom is the real threat. Like, no. It's the same thing here. Like, we had 3 different Dragon Age games, right? In Inquisition, it was about this, demon coming out, and you have to stop this from happening. But now in the next one, there's 2 elven gods now that are coming out of the Veil. Like, where was that in the plot before now? It's actually a pet peeve of mine that when we're just going to retcon all the important stuff we taught you about the world building and all this shit from previous. Just write that off like it never happened. Now we have a new plot for you. Well, no, fuck you. I played 3 other games that never mentioned any of this before. Why should I care about it now all of a sudden? Right? This is so dumb. Okay.
Shut it down!
I'm trying!
The dead stir more easily than they should.
There! It's been feeding on the blight!
The streets of Treviso get more dangerous by the day.
Unari.
The gods, I can feel their corruption.
The cult's gathering power. Darkspawn are charging to Weishaupt. You're the only force that can stop this. But not if they burn your castle to the ground. Get down!
The other funny part is the whole trailer is cinematic, like 23 frames per second, like it's a movie. It's not a movie. It's a game. So why are they presenting it as if it's some kind of a movie? Gamers don't fall for this anymore, right? You see this trailer, you're like, this is not representative of anything that will actually be in the game, correct? This is just, it's a teaser for the plot, but this is not what the game will be like at all. And people know that now. We're not stupid. This isn't not, 2004 E3, right? So Honestly, I'm watching this trailer. I have no fucking clue what the game will be yet. There's no way I would even know.
It will not be easy. But you are this world's only hope. I believe in all of us.
And also, isn't it weird because didn't they say for the longest time that the guy who was your ally in Dragon Age Inquisition was going to be the big bad of this, but now he's not anymore? He's in it, right? I forget his name. He's the elven magician who now I guess he's a god. It was revealed that he was a god in one of the DLCs and he was a villain all along. Solus, yeah. He was supposed to be the big bad of this all along. And then somewhere along production and development, they changed the plot. So now it's two other elven gods that are the big bads, and I guess Solus is going to try to stop them. He's bad, but he's teaming up with you because it's like the greater good versus the greater evil or something like that, right? So that's just funny to me. Like, I watch this, I'm like, okay, so we watched a movie, and all it tells us is that there's a new big bad we need to stop. That's literally it, right? Now, you know what's funny? Darziak just said, you should watch the Dragon Age Origins launch trailer. Sacred Ashes trailer, is this it? No, that's 11 years. Well, it is from the Dragon Age channel, though. Yeah, they had a lot of trailers. I guess this is it. Dragon Age Origins Sacred Ashes Cinematic Official. From Electronic Arts France. Is it in French? Hopefully it's not in French.
The legend says the tomb sits atop this peak.
All right, just ignore the French subtitles. Okay, we're going to compare these two.
Lovely. We can freeze to death while digging for the bones of a madwoman.
This is very Lord of the Rings-esque, is it not? This looks like, you know, this is the Fellowship traveling together across the mountaintops while what's his name? Not Sauron, but the other guy, Saruman, is doing his chant and is trying to knock them off with the weather. That's what this reminds me of. Oh. They're the worst fighters ever. They run right into the weapons.
Kill the emissary.
So this looks like Lord of the Rings to me, does it not? It looks like this is what they were going for. They were going for like a Lord of the Rings fantasy vibe, right? Does this, what we're watching right now, 15 years ago, the cinematic trailer for Dragon Age Origins, does this look like what we just watched? Would you even think it's the same series? Right?
The righteous stand before the darkness, and the Maker shall guide their hand.
Steady.
I mean, admittedly, this is very, very cinematic, right? This also is not representative of how the game played. But at least you're getting a vibe for what it is.
Strike when she comes for me!
You also got to remember, this game actually came out before Skyrim, right? So this was before the era of, oh, dragons aren't a big deal. To have like a big dragon in a video game was a big deal at this point, right?
Face me, creature!
Let us end this.
Hit it with the Hadouken. (2009), 15 years ago, right? So take a look at that versus what we just watched with Veilguard, right? Like, Veilguard just looks like the most watered down, generic, wishy-washy, not determined game, correct? This game looks like, well, here's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to make a hard Lord of the Rings fantasy adventure, right? We want to show you that there's going to be archetypes. We want to show you that there's going to be epic fights, big dragons. Watching the Veilguard trailer, what did you see? Ooh, a big spooky skeleton, right? A bunch of generic guys that are now the new big bads, even though they look generic like every other character. I'm not saying there wasn't generic stuff in that trailer we just watched, but like, one gives you a big identity. Like, you know, when you watch that Dragon Age Origins trailer, you know what to expect when you play the game. Watching that Dragon Age Veilguard trailer, I have no fucking clue what the game is at this point. I don't. Is it going to be more serious role-playing with fantasy archetypes? Is it going to be Guardians of the Galaxy all over again? Right? Like, what is it going to be? I have no fucking clue. And I'll be honest, the art style of Veilguard doesn't help it. You see this art style, right? Right? It's like, again, it's very Lord of the Rings-esque art style with the characters, correct? Then you go back to that Veilguard trailer we just watched.
It's been feeding on the blight.
Right? And it's like, take a look at this still that he did. It looked like, is it World of Warcraft? Or is it Overwatch? Is it fantasy? I can't tell what it is. It seems to not have a unique identity. I can't tell what this is when I'm looking at it. It just looks generic. It's like kind of cartoony, but yet not. Like, you can't put your finger on what it is. You know what I mean? I just don't know. Is it going to be more action-based? Is it going to be more serious RPG-based? Is it cartoony? I can't tell. I literally can't tell. If I just watched your trailer and I have no clue what your game is, I think you've kind of missed the point of the trailer, right? The whole idea is that you need to establish what your game is with its trailer to hook potential purchasers and players. This trailer, this 2-minute trailer, did none of that whatsoever. All you told me was, oh, there's a new big bad. Well, yeah, because every game seems to do this now. It completely they want you to do the Men in Black memory flash on the last 3 games you played in the series. None of that mattered. Here's the new plot. 2 new big bads are coming out of the veil, and we've got to stop it. Okay, Super generic. Got it. Forget everything we know about the series up to now because you basically took too long to make this game. So you're trying to restart it, right? You're trying to hit the reset button. But the trailer should at least establish to me what the game is going to be. It doesn't. Like, to me, I don't know. Like, here's the deal. We just came off of Baldur's Gate 3, right? Arguably one of the biggest and best RPGs of all time. Insane seller. People are still talking about and playing it a year later. It's still on in everyone's minds, right? They need, if they're going to come out of retirement here, 9 years in development, they need to hit hard with this game. And I'm just not seeing it.